Welcome back to part 3 of Project X-Wing. This is the test Nano that I've put onto the X-Wing here. So it's just a Nano that's got like an expansion board so that I'm not going to plug stuff onto the actual Nano itself. It can just go in here. I bought this off eBay. It's not an actual Arduino, it's a clone. I've put heat sinks on all of my the ones I'm going to use for this project. This one is a spare one, but I've put a heat sink on it all the same. It's quite difficult to solder these actually because they there's just no track there, and the pads that come off, you know, you've got to be really careful the pads don't come off. They're not the greatest of boards, but yeah, that's it. I've then connected. I've taken 3 volts off of this and I've gone to the one side of the shifter. This is power, and it's the I2C bus that's put onto this connector here. And I then drive the display. This is on the this is an I2C bus display as well. Sorry, bad pitch photographing. I've then taken a lead over from this one over onto this board here. This board's going to go in the model. It's going to just sit inside it like this. I'm just going to put some hot glue on there or something. I'll fix that down somehow. And then it's going to connect up to the 3 sensors. The other one, this is the other sensor. They've all got their own addresses as well actually. Try and focus on it. 48. So they've all got their own address on the bus. And this one's just going to sit in here. I've already made up a copper plate for it. I've mounted it on this I want to isolate the board from here in case I get a main spike off it. I don't really want that. So both sides of it have got this. These are just, you know, the things that heat sinks, these go behind heat sinks to isolate them from the actual transistor from the heatsink. You know, if you look inside a plasma screen, they've got this type of stuff, or a lot of power supplies have it. And I just bought this off eBay to isolate it. It's the plan. So the screws are connected because they go through the copper plate, and you need to sleeve them or something to completely isolate it. But the screws back and top are not connected to the board, and the board's coated anyway. And I haven't gone over that little IC there. You can just see the IC just poking out there if I get my finger out of the way. Yeah, so that's it. This is the shifter that's in there, because these little TMP 102 temp sensors are 3.3 volts, and the I2C bus off of my Mega is 5 volts. So I needed to use a shifter. On the other model, as I said, this shifter is going to be in the ceiling, and I'm running it all down on ribbon cables like this. The actual readings themselves, the other one says 0.1 because it's not connected, and I'm just getting the readings in. If you see there, it's got an alert pin, so I can actually read an alert pin off of these. If you look at this here, these connections are ground, VCC, which is a sort of 3.6 maximum, SDA, SCL, alarm pin, and then the address pin. You've got 3 pads. There's a center pad that you link to either the right hand pad or the left hand pad, but only sort of, you know, one at a time. You can't short these out or you'll burn it out. You can also link these from the address pin to either the SDA or the SCL, and that will give you another 2 addresses. So that's 4 addresses you've got in total. Or the other sensors I've got are a different manufacturer, and they've got different addresses. So that's that. I'm going to put this all in tonight. I'm going to put this in. Hopefully, if I get home in time, I'm going to wire all this up inside here. Connect the mains to it. Cable tie all this somehow so it's all nice and neat and tight. I have to redo these wires. I snipped them when I was cutting it apart, so off the other model. And yeah, hopefully get this board in, get them all the sensors and that in, put the top on it, run it with the lights on, get some temperatures and that off it. I'll try and video more of it. I just haven't got time at the moment to start editing all this stuff, so I'm kind of just doing it live because I'm working as well. But how I made these molds, I'll just quickly show you how I did these molds here. So, right, what I did, I just got the plaster of Paris and I poured it into the bottom of the mold. So I kind of had the model so that I had them so that it was level as I could get it on the base. So like that one, it had to be tipped up like that because of the angle of it, so that it was like level as I could, not with a spirit level, but just level, so that they sort of turned out reasonably the same thickness. And I've made them a good sort of, what, probably 10 mil and sort of 5 mil sort of thing on the sides. And then all I did was put it in there. I mixed it up so it was like creamy, and I like scraped it inside and had this level, and then I literally just tapped the model. And in like concrete, when you work concrete, the water comes to the surface. It kind of did that, and it sort of flattened itself out. I mean, I didn't, you know, smooth it dead flat or anything like that. It just, all I was interested in was getting the shape off the bottom. So then when I did that, I then poured some more into, I just used an ice cream tub. So I filled the bottom of the ice cream tub up, and then I just greased these. So I put like grease on it. I greased the model as well, actually, by the way, so it's difficult to get it out. I don't want to break it. And then that fits inside there like that. And then what I did, I cut some paper, which was slightly wider than this, all the way around, and I put the paper over there. I then squeezed that in there and pressed down. Right, so the paper was inside there. I then pressed down on it so the paper was below it. Actually, I missed a step out there. See, this is why I'm doing this. What I did, I cast this other half like that. I then marked out all of this stuff where I wanted the holes, where the light was, and I actually fitted them in here, which fitted really well. I didn't see the problem with the angle, to be fair, in here, because this is flat. Had this also had the angle on, I would have probably realised that my plan was foiled right from the start, because the screws were going in at like 30 degrees or something. So I then once I'd done this and fitted the light in and I was happy with it, I then cut paper, like I said, put it in there, pushed this back in, which was tight, pushed it down. I then turned it over. I then marked my holes on my paper with a pencil. What I then did was I went round with my finger and pressed it right in, so that, because it was all pressed in here quite well actually, went round the edges, and I went round with a pencil, and then I cut it out, and I made my templates, which are now down at my Dean's house because he's cut the other model. But I think we'll leave the holes on it. I've told him anyway, if he's done it, he's done it. You know, we'll have to just go with it. But that's the plan, and that's how I did it. But as I say, the next video, what I'll do is I will be wiring this up, and we'll go from there and see what sort of temperatures we get on these fans. I know this is a bit scraggy. This is just going to go up on the, we'll just put this on one of the wires. Actually, I was going to bring one of the wires in. The wires we've got are quite good. They're adjustable, you know, you can slide them up and down. We're also going to not just have the wires poking through and a nut on the end. We're going to make some plates or something to spread the weight, because this is all clips together like here, and it's all like, it goes in, you know, like on the edge there. There's like an edge, so it clips in quite tight. So we think it's going to be rigid enough to take the extra weight that we've added. But anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.